So I talked about sometimes you'll want to have a stable level of water, and what I've put together here for you is the beginnings. It'll be more finished off with holes in the right place and everything, and painted with white latex. But this is your basic floating raft, and what this is made out of is extruded polystyrene. Yeah, you can see the remains of it. Extruded polystyrene. Now, people talk about Dow, Blue Board, and stuff, and if you can get Dow, that's beautiful, but I know that Lowe's, for example, has stopped carrying Dow's brand of it, and this is their green thing. It's a green color, and if I look on the back, I can't find it. I think it's called GreenGuard. This particular kind is 2 feet in width and 8 feet long. And one of the nice things about this particular one is that you could cut your individual piece parts and then just kind of nest them together, if that works for you. Now, I have had to cut a hole here at the end for my Durso siphon because it just needs that big of a hole to clear that. If you're using these Rubbermaid stock tanks, you also need to worry on the 50-gallon guys. They have these structural supports, just these forms on either side, so you need to cut out for those. And what I've used here is simply the same kind of a hole saw that you would use if you're installing a door. I'm making the presumption that somebody who would be willing to actually try to do this themselves is the same kind of person who installs their own doorknobs and stuff like that. So I'm expecting that you probably already have this tool in your kit, or you've got a friend who has this hole saw in their kit and you can borrow it from them. So on this side of it here, I counted it. I believe this is, I think this is 28 holes just in this one little 1 foot by 2 foot wide bit. And the idea you would have here, you get these 2-inch net pots, pop them in there with your grow medium, whatever it is, gravel or hydroton. And something that I don't have here, but I have in other videos that I've shot, is if you take a standard water bottle, just cut the bottom off of it, you can put that right over top, protective dome, and it should, in my experience, it makes a nice protective area for your seedlings to sprout. You can leave them here for the first however long, and then when they get big enough, you can transplant them to the rest of your beds, or if it's the kind of plant that likes, is happy enough with a floating raft situation, you can just pop it from here and put it in one of the cubes here. These holes are going to be 6 inches apart off centers, so this is a spacing that lettuce really likes. A lot of those fast-growing things that you typically think of when you're thinking about aquaponics or hydroponic systems will grow very nicely in a floating raft. Typically people recommend the 2-inch thick for floating raft. I think it's sturdier. And it is still thin enough that if you can see down in here, the very bottom of this net pot, with just only one net pot in here, is getting moist. You can imagine when all of these are loaded up and a little bit more weight is on here, there's maybe a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch worth of water at the very bottom. If you say, hey, I really want my stuff to be submerged even more in the water, then you could go with something thinner, say 1.5 inch or 1 inch thick extruded polystyrene. And if you're like, wow, why do I need it this high? You don't really need it this high. You could always change the how tall this is by changing the height of your tube in your Durso siphon or your upstand if you're not using a Durso siphon. So that's the bare bones of it, and have fun from there.